Yeah, the big dog hunt. Hello again, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Kallas Remarks with the host, Joe Staszak. Of course, my co-host, Johnny and Steve Kallas, joining me once again to preview Championship Weekend. Here we go, boys. Championship Weekend. Johnny, you got a little skin in the game in terms of your squad. My squad got bounced. I think Steve's squad got bounced in week four.
Well, we got a coach. Oh, we have a coach.
They got a coach. So John Harbaugh's coaching the Giants, so we look for good things out of them next year. Some interesting games. We'll obviously start with the first game on Sunday because it's you got a Patriots team who's really been on the come. They were 5.5 point favorites, are now 4.5 from some places I've seen, but they're playing a backup quarterback, and Jared Stidham, who was a draft pick of the Patriots, so the Patriots know him a little bit. Seems like Denver coach Sean Payton is looking forward to the challenge of this, and they seem to really, the players, from what I'm told, seem to really like him. Jared Stidham may not win, but Stiddy, apparently they call him, will have a put them in a good position to win this game. It's at Mile High. Derek May, second year quarterback, runner-up MVP. A lot of good storylines here. He has put the ball on the carpet a little bit lately, although he makes the big plays when he's had to against Houston. Johnny, well, since it's your squad, we'll start with you. Denver hosting the AFC title game against the number two seed, the New England Patriots. Going to be a good one.
Yeah, I think it should be. A few thoughts on this game. I think it's really interesting. Jarrett Stidham drafted by the Patriots in 2019. Spent a year, that was Brady's last year in Foxborough, so spent a year under Tom Brady, his final year in Foxborough. Josh McDaniels brought him to Vegas when McDaniels was the Vegas coach to be their backup quarterback. And now he's worked with Sean Payton. So look, Bill Belichick picked him, Josh McDaniels picked him, Sean Payton picked him. That's not too shabby now.
No.
That's not too shabby at all. But the reality is, we don't know what we're going to get from Jarrett Stidham. I've seen a lot of, to me, curious takes. One, I forget if it was Nick Wright or somebody said that if the Patriots lose on Sunday, it would be mortifying. It would be a horrible loss. And they're going to Denver, which is a brutal. I'm sorry, man. Denver's a tough place to play. I know this, having been a Patriots fan for all my life and seeing Brady Belichick go 0-3 in Denver, never scoring more than 18 points. And they're the greatest to ever do it. Denver is a tough place to play. So I understand why the Pats are favorite, and I think the Pats should win. But I'm not surprised if they don't, and I don't think the season is a wash if they don't either. So I really don't understand those takes. But I also will say, has Sean Payton always been this cocky? Was he always this cocky in New Orleans?
He won one Super Bowl, and he just
Long,
comes off that way. I know you're right. He does come off that way.
he's
He is pretty
talking.
cocky. He's a little,
He's,
considering he came a couple of years ago, he was doing a press conference after his team gave up 70 to the Dolphins and Tua that one
I
afternoon.
forgot about that. I'll tell you what, how the defense has come along. I forgot about
They
that.
have come along in Denver.
But Peyton, I put him in the John Harbaugh, Mike Tomlin category, a guy who won a really long time ago and has lived off it for a long time. Granted, he is in the conference championship game, but to be saying and giving this bulletin board material about how the Broncos fans will only have 2 weeks to rest after this game instead of a long off season, it's just it's bizarre to me. But anyways, in terms of getting on the field. I think a big question is the Broncos, obviously, with Bonito and other folks, have a really explosive pass rush in a really tough place to play. That place gets about as loud outside of Seattle as any stadium in football when it comes this time of the year, and the Broncos are good. So can Drake May? Can they give help on the edges? Is he able to step up? Can he use his legs a little bit? A few quarterbacks had a little bit of success, but not a ton running against this Broncos defense. But he needs to take care of the ball. He's put the ball on the ground 6 times in the first two playoff games. He's lost 3 or 4 of those. So he needs to really take care of the ball, and he needs to hit those big plays. On the other side of it, I think we don't really know what we're getting from Jarrett Stidham, but we do know the Patriots have a really good defense. I mean, they have come out. and played extremely well. They will be missing Harold Landry, one of their best pass rushers in this one, but they have Anthony Jennings, who's been around for a while, not as good of a pass rusher, but sets the edge really well. And I think that, they should have a really good day defensively. Christian Gonzalez will be playing. Um, this team hasn't played at altitude. There was some surprise that they're going out tomorrow, I believe. So it's not like they're going out a couple days early to get adjusted. But I think it makes sense. The Patriots 4.5 seems right to me. This is a game the Patriots should win, but no way it's a certainty. And I think it has a chance to be a close one in Denver on Sunday.
Steve, do you think that Sean Payton, Coach Payton, might be saying those things to give a little confidence boost to his quarterback, thinking, "Hey, we're behind you." And it's like the coach in the huddle. When what's his name makes these free throws, we're going to do this kind of, you know what I mean? Like puts a little confidence in his guy.
I think absolutely that's part of it. I mean, I understand how you could be cool, calm, and collected, well-liked, play great in preseason or do great in practice. But everybody knows it's a different deal when you walk on to playing a game to go to the Super Bowl. And it's going to be probably a don't hurt me. If you're a Bronco, don't hurt me. We'll have to see what happens. But look, I thought if it was Bo Nix, I think that would be like an even game. I assume Denver would be favored by 3. That would be my guess if Bo Nix was playing. But Johnny's right about Denver. Playing there is tough. Altitude is tough. I don't really buy into the whole, they're 0-4 in the playoffs in Denver, which I understand. But I think Matt Collins is going to play. People kind of sleep on Matt Collins, but he's really become Diggs. Booty is just unbelievable. I think they're going to be able to make some plays. I think the key, as Johnny already said, you got to protect the ball if you're Drake May, and you got to get rid of the ball quickly too.
Yep.
Will Campbell on the edge, left tackle, but a rookie against Nick Bonito. They're going to have to do, and I think we might have talked about this with Johnny, that they have 2 rookies on the left side of the line, so they're going to be coming from there. Seems to me you got to keep a back inside on that side, and or a tight end on the way out.
Better
But
be Ramondre Stevenson because Henderson, as good of an explosive player he is, he's not good at chipping.
yeah, well, they're going to have to do something. All they're going to do is watch the films and say, we got to do something. And I don't know if Will Campbell comes of age, but he's trying to come of age against the wrong guy. So that could be a problem. But having said that, look, Drake May made some plays, 3 touchdown passes against the Texans, incredible defense, better in my opinion than the Broncos defense. And you got to kind of hope they treat Stidham like a rookie quarterback and can get a couple of picks or something like that to change the game immediately. Um, so I like the Patriots too. I'm on when it was 5.5, Joe. I was thinking of taking Denver with the points, but I think it's down to 4.5. Although all the money's going on ESPN, they had it was 3.5 today. So I don't know, but obviously all the smart money, are we calling it smart money? All the smart money is going on Denver. Uh, if there's turned out to be a blowout, which I don't think it will be, but if it did, you would think right now that it's going to be the Patriots who are doing the blowing out. Um, but when I look at the quarterbacks, when we watch CJ, I mean, the reason the Patriots won, I won't say easily, but won by a good number is because of the quarterback. And I don't know that Stidham's going to be a lot better than these other guys. I mean, again, when you look, as I said, I don't know if this was on the air, but with Johnny, I think I said the Rams are up here quarterback wise because of Stafford. But when you look at the other guys, Darnold is a question mark. I'm sorry, he's a question mark still with a great defense. Stidham is a gigantic question mark with an excellent defense. May, I don't think is a question mark. I think we've seen his problems, and hopefully he's seen his problems. And he's going to have to protect the ball. And if it's at the risk of a sack or two, better
Yes.
off taking a sack or two than taking interceptions or, putting fumbles on the ground and hoping the ball bounces your way. Because, we're at the stage where every time the ball bounces now, that could be a trip to the Super Bowl or not.
It could be Johnny. You know Jared Stidham. You've seen him play. You know he was with the organization to do it for. What would you do? How would you defend him? What would you look for? What kind of tendencies does he have, or tips if you were coaching the defense? And all right, gee, he likes to do this. He likes to do that. What would you implement in terms of attacking him?
But I think the one thing you have to do first and foremost, and this really got overlooked last week, but it's what they did really well against the Texans, is you need to make sure you're stopping the run. The best friend for a young quarterback is being able to run the football. Now, Sean Payton likes to throw it, don't get me wrong. J.K. Dobbins was activated from IR, but he will not be returning in this one, so they'd be relying on their rookie running back R.J. Harvey. But I think the first way to stop Stidham is to stop the running game, which the Patriots did extremely well. Woody Marks and those guys and Nick Chubb were coming off a great game against Pittsburgh, and they got stuffed all game. Nobody talked about it because of how bad Stroud was, but I think those two things are somewhat related. After that, I think you need to, and what the Patriots have done a good job of, Steve might say not good enough, but he's, Todd Bowles on steroids down there, is they bring pressure. I think they, bring some disguises, some blitz packages, five, six guys at times. So I think the combination of stopping the run and strategically bringing pressure, though maybe Steve will disagree with that. There have been times where, I think even against Stroud, obviously he couldn't deal with pressure and they just kept bringing it. So if it's working, I would do that. But that's what I would say. I think it starts, man, win the line of scrimmage, stop the run, which I expect this Patriots defense, even without Landry, but with Milton Williams, Christian Barmore, Christian Ellis, Spillane, they got a lot. I'll tell you what, the front seven reminds you in some ways of that early 2000s Mike Vrabel Patriots defense. I'm not saying they're that good yet. We'll see after a couple games, but they got a lot of similarities. They got a lot of good linebackers, got a lot of good line of scrimmage players.
Okay, Joe, if I could, I'd like to give Johnny a blitz stat I saw today on ESPN. During the regular season, the Patriots blitzed 28% of the time. In the playoffs, they've blitzed 44% of the times. I got nothing to do with calling the plays for them. The completion percentage against them when they blitzed 28% of the time was 58%. When they blitzed 44% of the time, now in the playoffs, 38%. These things mean something. I mean, we're seeing all of these teams blitzing more because it seems to me you got to blitz more. Johnny's right about my blitzing illness.
Not against great quarterbacks, but yeah, they're not facing any great quarterbacks. To your
I,
point. To your point.
I'll say it again. It's Stafford. I guess you give Darnold second.
I'll give May. Come on, man. I'll give
Uh,
May. You give Darnold over May?
I
So who are you
revert.
taking?
I go man.
You
I go,
taking the guy who throws the ball to the other team or the guy who puts the ball on the ground all the time?
I'm picking the guy who saw ghosts once upon a time, and I'm hoping he sees ghosts this Sunday as
The
well.
Jets sure know how to not develop eventually good quarterbacks. Sorry, anyways.
All right. Well, since you're talking about the other game, let's go to the Rams and Seahawks. Sam Darnold has thrown three touchdowns and seven interceptions against the Rams in the last three times he's played them. All right. He threw six interceptions this year against them, one touchdown. He did come up with a victory. That crazy 2-point conversion didn't hurt. He did in the late in the fourth quarter play very well. He got a little bit of a reprieve, but he does not, for some reason, play well against the Rams. You saw them chase him all over the field when he was with Minnesota. And again, he has six interceptions, one touchdown against them this year, and they're playing again. Now the games have been close. I think it was a 3-point game the first time they lost to them this year, and yeah, it was a 2-point game. They lost 21-19 despite four turnovers, and they won 38 to 37 in overtime. A game that really helped them get to the top seed in the AFC or in the AFC period. So they do have a better defense. I'm not a big fan of the Rams defense, especially their secondary. But I also look at the quarterbacks in these playoff games, and I think Mike McDonald's done a very nice job of keeping him away from, the mix in terms they beat San Francisco pretty badly without having to rely on Sam Darnold. They've done it twice. They did it a few weeks ago, 13-3. And I don't know if they can do that again on Sunday, but Steve, your thoughts? Because it sounds like you're leaning Darnold um, over Drake May, but it's going to be Darnold versus Stafford on Sunday.
No. I'm corrected already. I wouldn't write Darnold over
That's
May
okay.
because we haven't seen May seen ghosts yet. And if
Oh,
you didn't
yeah.
see him, if you didn't see him
Not
against
yet,
the
right?
Texans, if you didn't see him against the Texans, I don't think you're seeing him here. But Stafford, the Rams are tied for letting the least sacks. Their quarterback is the least sacked quarterback in the NFL. He also threw for 457 yards in week 16. I understand the numbers kind of look identical almost. Um, but now I think Devontae Adams is healthy, and they have, to me, the best player, the best wide receiver, and one of the best players in football in Nakua. I will point out that that Cup is on. Do you know this Cup is on Seattle? And boy,
Yep.
would he like to go to a Super Bowl with
Playing
them
great.
and beat his old team. But the guy I did see who I liked, who made some big plays last week, is Quentin Lake. And Quentin Lake defensively, he did not play in the Week 16 game. That's what you're looking at now. The Rams apparently are very healthy, and Seattle's healthy, except they're losing Charbonnet. I think that's a big loss. Can Walker carry the load himself? I don't know. We're going to find out. But it's what Johnny said. If you can stop the run, you're kind of trying to stop him. In this game, you're trying to stop him because Chardonnay is out for the season. But I'll give two quick things on the Rams. They're very healthy, and the experience, coaches versus coaches, quarterbacks versus quarterbacks. I think that gives a big advantage when you're the Rams and you've won a Super Bowl. And I know that's a while ago, but I think the Rams are going to win this game.
John, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think this is a tough one because the one team that seems to have been able to move the ball in the last like month and a half against the Seahawks have been the Rams in that Week 16 game. Stafford throwing for 450 something yards. The Rams have, as Steve alluded to, they have a sort of almost somehow underrated, excellent offensive line. This is a battle, by the way, between the two best receivers in football. I think JSN's actually the favorite to win that Offensive Player of the Year over Puka. But you have the two best receivers in football definitely this year by far, squaring off in this one. I think in terms of the Seahawks, as Joe alluded to, Darnold obviously struggles against the Rams. And he hasn't really shown me, based on the 13-3 win against the Niners to clinch the one seed, or the 40-6 win against the Niners last week, a very overmatched, undermanned Niners team. To move to the division round, he hasn't had to do much of anything. So when the Brights get put on him, and granted, even despite those turnovers, he did lead that fourth quarter surge to win a few weeks ago. What's going to happen? And I think that's sort of the question. Do you trust Sam Darnold, or do you not trust Sam Darnold? He's going to need more than 123 or whatever passing yards to win this one. That's for sure. I think the loss of Charbonnet hurts a lot, but Kenneth Walker obviously is still a really good running back. Cooper Kupp, look, he's kind of been the go-to guy at times. If they're able to double JSN, can he get open one-on-one against, as Joe alluded to, also not very good Rams secondary? Um, and I think ultimately, if the Rams, while I like them, if they play like they did against the Panthers and Bears, not sure if they're going into Seattle to win this one. So they're going to have to play their best game of football all year.
I would agree. Well, fellas, it's time for picks. Johnny, congratulations, 4-0 last week. Well done, my friend. Well
But a blind
done.
squirrel,
Well
Joe, even
done
a
to
blind
Josh.
squirrel.
Bowing down.
I think I was 0-4 or 1-3, something bad, but just chalk it off to I was bad last week. Let's do picks. Johnny, we'll let you go. You have the
Man of
right
the
the
hour.
right to pick first. You have honors, let's say.
Yeah, so it's really just last thing I'll say, get as a segue into the picks. Imagine if these games were in New England this weekend where it's going to snow a foot, or
Right?
if somehow Chicago had home field where it's going to be negative 20 degrees on Sunday. So I actually think weather, Denver looks like it's going to get up to even the 40s and sunny, and Seattle looks like it's going to be pretty sunny. So it doesn't seem, unless I'm missing something right now, weather's going to play a role. Anyways, in terms of Denver at New England, I'd be fascinated how I would pick this game if I wasn't a Patriot fan. So I'm not as confident in this pick, partially as I was last week, partially because um, it's just hard to say what is Stidham going to be. Like nobody really knows what Stidham's going to be. But I'll take, backup quarterback. I think May will figure it out a little bit more, and he'll hit a couple of those big plays. I think the Patriots can stop the run, hold the Denver to, the teens in points. I'll take Patriots plus 4.5. And then in the other game,
Minus, right?
Minus.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, I'll take Patriots plus 4.5. Just I'll take Patriots minus 4.5, minus 4.5. The other game, Rams at Seahawks. What the Rams have done the last 2 weeks, in direct contrast to what the Seahawks did, it gives me some cause for concern. But look, they've won two road playoff games. Stafford and them, I think their offense is built as well as it really could be. And I love the Seahawks defense, but I need a quarterback who I can trust. So and especially if I'm getting points, even though it's on the road, I'm gonna take the Rams plus 2.5. Is that right?
Yes,
Yes.
So Patriots minus 4.5, Rams plus 2.5.
Well, I
Stevie.
don't know what to say because, Joe, last week I wanted to pick all of Johnny's picks, but I was barred apparently. So I managed to go 1-3 after going 6-0, and I have to take my licks. But uh, because Johnny went 4-0 last week, I'm picking the Patriots minus 4.5 and the Rams minus 2.5. Plus 2.5. No, I'm not kidding. That's what I'm picking because I just think I love to bet against like the number one seeds. Obviously, that hasn't worked out well. Well, although certainly Denver could have lost, I will say that. And I do feel bad still for the what about Rivers might be the coach of the Bills? Did you hear that? He's going
He's
for it.
interviewing. I'm not sure if we
He
put
had
a
the
mic on
weirdest
that,
he
but
had the weirdest high school coaching season in the history of football. Ended up playing three games, right? And
Might
now
end up being the coach of Josh Allen. Yeah, that's
yeah,
something.
I don't think that's going to happen. But whatever. I'm not. I'd love to know why they even called him up.
does it surprise you after listening to Terry Pagula the other day in that
Yeah.
ridiculous press
Well,
conference?
again,
Oh my God.
it's like with all these guys, Joe. They're billionaires in whatever it is they did to become billionaires, and they're just about morons when it comes to
Just, he sounded like
football.
such a moron.
He shouldn't have
He
said
kept saying a
anything.
bad call, yeah, we know.
Well, what did he?
Keon Coleman, do you believe what they said?
Throwing him under the bus. Guys on his team.
Did
How's
McDermott
Coleman
get
gonna feel when he shows up to OTA? Hey guys.
did McDermott get fired because Josh Allen was crying in the locker room? I mean, it almost
I saw
sounded
the
like
looks
that
on
was
their
it.
face. Oh, what did you expect them to look like after they lose a playoff game? Oh my God,
Especially
embarrassing. I was embarrassed.
especially when this was the year, because this was the year, I think. But they got beat. So no, I'm going to stick with the Patriots. Johnny's right. Drake May has to play better. He just has to be better. He has to have. He doesn't have that feel yet. He's in the league 2 years. He's maybe MVP, probably second to Stafford. But if a guy hits you in the arm, I'll say it again. If a guy hits you in the arm, you better take the ball down because he's going to hit you again. And that's one of the fumbles he lost.
Yep.
And he just doesn't quite step up quick enough. And if he steps up and gets tackled, that's a lot better than winding up from the back again and getting these guys off the edge. I don't know what kind of game Will Campbell's going to have, but he needs to have a real good one. And they need to find a way, maybe with a tight end or a running back, but they have to do something. And, that's all going to be clear on the tape, obviously. So I do like the Patriots at 5.5. I was talking to Johnny. I might have taken, in the Joe Staszak rule, I might have taken Denver plus the points. But I'll stick it out to the end with the Patriots, unless they make it to the Super Bowl. Then we'll have to have another conversation. But I'm with Rams and I'm with the Patriots. How about you, Joe?
I'm with the Rams. I'll take the quarterback there. The defense probably goes to Seattle, but like Johnny said, a quarterback you can trust. I don't know what Sam Darnold is in the playoffs yet. I don't I don't think just because they blew the doors off San Francisco. Oh yeah, Sam Darnold can play, and he didn't really need to. I think he was 8 of 17, which is under 50% completion percentage. He threw a touchdown pass to his main guy, and okay, the game was kind of already decided. I'll still go with the Rams. He doesn't play well against them for some reason, whether that's a thing or not, and they're getting points, and they've won a couple road playoff games. They're road tested a little bit. Not big on the secondary, but again, I like the quarterback. He didn't throw a pick in that game, whereas Sam Darnold threw 4 picks, and then he threw 2 picks, or he threw 2 picks and 4 picks the week before, a couple weeks before. Don't trust him. That's what it really comes down to. In the other game, we're just taking the points. A home team playing to go to the Super Bowl. They don't have to win the game. Can lose by a field goal, can lose by two. So kind of hedging there because I think straight up Patriots are a better team, certainly with a backup quarterback instead. And of course, you don't know how May's going to play. This is a really big game, a road game to get to the Super Bowl. That's big. I mean, I don't care who you
Right.
are. That's big. Second year guy, played great. I know he had some fumble issues. Really like what he does, yeah, especially when he needs to come up with big plays. He really does. He really understands what he's doing back there. Aside from maybe protecting the ball, they'll straighten that out with him. I don't know what Stidham is like, Johnny. I had no idea what we're going to see. I like Denver. I don't love them because they didn't play well against the Bills either. I expect them to play better. I expect them to get after the quarterback a little bit more. But again, they're getting 4.5, could go down to 3.5. It was 5.5, and that's my number. I'll take the points because they don't have to win the game. They could lose by a field goal, and the Broncos would still be the winner. So I'll go Broncos, and I'll go Rams there. Um, we talked about the Buffalo situation. Philip Rivers, what do you think? What do you think that's all about? Interviewing him for a job? What's going on there?
Publicity? Publicity?
Are they kidding me?
I can't. My old guy can't get an interview, man. It's something else.
Who's your guy?
Belichick,
Oh
just
yeah, that's right. That's right,
totally,
Bill.
totally, totally outcast from this league. It's just incredible. It's
That's kind of strange. It really is.
He could coach the Bills.
I think he can. I think all he needs a quarterback and he needs to get Dable, who would probably come with him as offensive coordinator. And
It's it's funny because Johnny's the only guy I've heard even mention that. All these shows you watch.
no, you know who mentioned it? I actually have to
Oh,
say Rex Ryan.
Yeah, Rex Ryan.
oh,
Rex
right. I
Ryan
take
said
it
the
back.
only guy
Yeah,
you
I
fire
did.
Sean McDermott for is the guy who's actually done what McDermott hasn't, which is, go and win multiple Super Bowls with a great quarterback. So Belichick, the problem was always the quarterback situation. But I think a lot of these GMs, they promoted this guy Bean. And I think a lot of these GMs don't want to, and look, Belichick, it would be high risk, high reward because he could do some crazy stuff like he did the last couple of years in New England. You think he'd be reined in more. But in terms of game day coaching, schematic week to week, I still think
Halftime,
he's second to none, man.
halftime.
Yeah, halftime adjustments. If he has a great quarterback, which he has a great quarterback in
Yeah, he
Allen,
does. He would have one
would be
there.
second to none. And it would talk about the storyline, man. Vrabel and May against Allen and Belichick. That would be a hell of a
How
story.
great would that be? That would be tremendous. Just a few seconds on the national title game. Indiana came out with the victory. I always say this, it's not the team in big, big games who makes more big plays. It's a team who makes fewer mistakes. Miami, the thing about them was they're not quite as disciplined and not quite as buttoned up, and it kind of came back to roost. They were offsides on a play that extended a drive on a third down,
Yeah.
allowing Indiana to score a touchdown to go up 10-0 in a half, and they had a pump blocked. And as they were coming back, they had a pump block. They fought, they battled, they played hard. But at the end of the day, and Indiana did have an answer. Every time Miami got, kind of close, Indiana made some plays. Big call by Kirk. Signetti down there on 4th and 5, sent the kicking unit out and then called timeout. The again, the play of, I don't know, the millennium. I'm sure I'm going to be seeing it until my friends carry me out of a church in a pine box. I'm sure I'm going to be seeing this play. As long as I live, it was the draw play, the quarterback draw, and it's a great play. Kid made a great play. What are you going to do? Miraculously, when it was 2nd and 1 and time running out, Miami actually got the ball back because a guy. This is why I don't. When Josh Allen had a chance to kneel on the ball at the 1 in Jacksonville, punch it in. You go offside. You a legal procedure moves you back 5 yards. You're not at the 6-inch line. That's what happened in Indiana. They ended up kicking a field goal. Miami gets the ball down 6, had an opportunity. Carson Beck throws a pick. It doesn't happen. But hey, congratulations to the Hoosiers, man. It's one of the greatest, worst to firsters I've ever seen. I still don't know how they did it in 2 years. Indiana was the Dreck of the Drecks. But congratulations, Kurt Signetti. You're right, Steve. We talked in pre-show. The Heisman Trophy winner. He did enough to win and played pretty well. Didn't make a lot of mistakes. He ran the ball 42 times. I didn't really see him unleashed in that game where he was allowed to do his thing. But he had the
Interesting.
run, which was a signature play of the game, and you'll be seeing that for many, many, many years to come. Good stuff, fellas. Enjoy the games, and obviously we'll be back. I'm in Naples still. I know there's big storms coming up. I might still be here on Tuesday or Wednesday. We got a lot of snow coming. It was just a friend of mine calling saying, she's like, either come home tomorrow or come home next week because we're getting
He's
hit.
right. No, she's
That's
right.
what
They're
I'm
already
hearing.
canceling flights on Sunday.
Yeah, is that right? Okay, I guess I should look into that more. But enjoy doing it again, and catch up with you in a few days. You can catch Steve's stuff on his daily Facebook forum page. Speaking of sports, with Steve Kallas, and you can catch this podcast on YouTube and all the audio outlets as well. You can follow me on Twitter at Joe Staszak 975, or on Instagram at Joe Staszak 4799. Johnny, appreciate it, man. Catch you next week, Steve. Good stuff, and good luck to your Patriots, brother.
Appreciate
Always
it.
great to
Thanks,
be with
fellas.
you guys.
You too, guys. Go get them. We'll talk to you next time. Appreciate it, folks, for watching.